Now I know. Now I know. Been wondering why engagement's been down. The views. People just all across the board. Been watching people, on their Facebook lives and things like that, and engagement's down. I was wondering why, and then I made the mistake of going into YouTube, and all of a sudden I don't even know how it popped up, but then a live stream of Donald Trump in Philadelphia, something or another came up, and I wasn't even paying attention to it, and I turned around my desk, and then all of a sudden I see this chat on the side. There's hundreds and hundreds of people just bitching, complaining to each other. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So now I know what's going on. I know what's going on this last couple months. I know exactly what's going on. There's a ton of people complaining, or there's a ton of people protesting. That's what's going on. So they're either out there protesting or they're complaining about the protesters. So it makes sense. It makes complete sense. We're going to try to get through this video today. It's not going to be super long. We're going to try to get through it without the camera shooting off into the stratosphere and having a mind of its own. But no, I think I fixed that. So hopefully we don't make it 3 days in a row. Dow. So I didn't touch into much of what I thought was going to happen. So I had a lot of comments, a lot of people going back and forth what they thought was going to happen. It's going to go up. It's going to go up to 21, 25, 30. It's going to crash soon. All things must, all things that go up must come down, right? So it's inevitable. It will come down. It's just a matter of when. So it could go up to 21 or 22 or 25, 30, but it very well may crash. You call it. I don't know. So that's that's where we're headed. This is what it is right now, but where we're headed is anybody's guess, right? I'm Brandon Gentile. I'm the CEO and the founder of the Legacy Group here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. We do a number of different things. I look at myself not just as a real estate agent, but as a business owner and somebody that can provide value to people, whether it's not just me, but the many people I know and have networked with over the last 4 or 5 years. The people that I know, they're in good positions to do things to help people I know. And that's really how I look at it. Because I think a real estate agent really traditionally was a person that was the hub for everything. And I didn't always want to be a real estate agent, and I always wanted to be someone that could help and provide value to people. And that's why I brought up the stuff in the beginning, the protesting and the complaining and stuff like that, because I used to be that person. Many people watching this video right now, or many people that know me on my Facebook, whatever, they know me. They used to know me as someone who was out there, talking about politics all the time, and etc. And it's a passion of mine, but really the real passion of mine is history. And politics is politics. Everyone knows what politics is, right? It's, whatever you want to call it, gaming the system, whatever. History is where my father really kind of shared that love with me, and that's where it really kind of blossomed into just a love of history. And it runs very deep. And history, I was just watching something last night. It was a historian, David Barton, and he said, and I believe Mike Maloney, who I touched on, who talks about all this stuff, has said it as well, actually, but those who control the present control the past, and those control the future. So those people who control the present, they can rewrite history. We've had a lot of revisionist history. David Barton, I was watching a video. This is the kind of things that I do. I was watching a video yesterday. He had all the old books from Woodrow Wilson, who was our, obviously our president in the teens, and all the, like de Tocqueville and Democracy in America, the books that thick, but we have the revisionist copies that were made by, whoever, it doesn't matter, academia or the science field or whoever it is writing these books and revising things. Well, one of the Democracy in America books now is that thick that he had, and it's abridged. It's updated for the modern world. What about the rest of it? It's that to me is, again, who controls the present controls the past, and those who control the past control the future. The biggest problem I see with America, and the biggest reason we have this at 20,000, and people, we have differing opinions. People think it's great, it's awesome, it's bad, it's terrible, is because they don't study the past, and it gives you a great look into the future. But if you're studying the wrong past, then you're really in trouble. It's almost like it's a moot point. It's almost like you just wasted your time if you're studying the wrong past. So, there's some books I have. I don't have many of them because a lot of them are expensive and, they're hard to get. But a lot of the great books to have are the ones from the 1700s or the 1800s, the ones that weren't changed yet. The ones, a lot of them that talk about the founding of America and, there's the God is in all those books. Well, they're taken out of most of the new books. Things like that. That's just one example of all the different things that they've revised over the years. So, again, who controls the present is the person who controls and the people who control the past. And if you control the past, you control the future. So, if you control the past and I tell you that the history is founded totally secularly, or in the history, the country is founded, this and that, you don't know any different, well, then you're going to take that as gospel, and that's going to be your foundation you go to the present day with and the future with. So that is the biggest problem that I see. We operate on a different set of facts. I know people have been talking about fake news and alternative facts and all these different things lately. Well, news flash, that's been going on for the course of human civilization. That's fake news. It's called propaganda. It's called the media. Like welcome to real life. That is happening all the time. Whether someone thinks they're smart and just came out with the term, that's always been happening. It's mind blowing to me. So I go on to something like this, and in my world, because of where you're the sum of all the things you're doing, right? So I spend a lot of time reading about currency and reading about the financial markets and reading these, the Steve Jobs and Robert Kiyosaki and a lot of guys like that. So I always have that mindset. That's the world I live in. So I think everyone else is living in that world. And then I step out of that world for a few minutes and I see that no, there's a lot of people that are in this world, right? They're in the protest world. They're in the world of complaining about people protesting or whatever it is. Go do something about it. Go do something about it. Go run for office. Make some real change. Go do something. Go do something real that's going to cause an actual change instead of on a YouTube chat yelling back and forth at each other. What is that going to solve? I mean, our founding fathers, they were probably rolling their graves. I mean, they were yelling at each other on a YouTube chat. I mean, it's remarkable to me. It's remarkable. And that's, again, we talked about this yesterday, and it's so important to see these things, these factors. Hopefully, some of you went and checked this out and compared and did the little calculations that take you 2 minutes to do. Go check out the prices, the spot price of this, and the median value of a home in the United States, and the price of a barrel of oil, and go compare them to the Dow. See what they look like. See which direction the chart's going. I really do think there's a lot of things in life I think that are fairly simple, but a lot of us just choose not to do them. We choose to look right past them, and it's. Again, I talk like this because I was in that world before, and I thought it would get me somewhere, and it didn't get me anywhere. It didn't, great, I know all this history, and I know all this stuff, and I studied, this stuff for years, and I studied the Constitution, I studied all these things, but it didn't, but me arguing with people about it, it really didn't help anything, because I realized that these people they're not arguing with me on the same set of facts. So, and it's disconcerting in a way. It's very disconcerting, but at the same time, I ultimately, a number of years ago, chose to focus on something else. Focus on, okay, you know what? I'm not bettering anyone else like this. I'm not bettering myself. How am I going to better myself? Therefore, I can then go and turn it and help other people. So I had to kind of look within in order to get some introspection, and then hopefully, from here on out, we've helped a bunch of people, and then from here on out, help a lot more people going forward. Jessica and I, my wife, we have our letter going out to a lot of our close family and friends and stuff like that soon, and we want to help over 200 families this year, whether that's through her law practice, through real estate, giving back, the soup kitchen, or whatever it is, adopting a family over the holidays. We want to help over 200 families this year. In some way, helping 200 families, that would be amazing. go affect some real change. That's something I'm committed to. I hope you are committed to that. That's something I'm committing to. That's something she's committing to. That's something the people I work with are committed to, because I wouldn't work with them if they weren't committed to it. So instead of, complaining about, people on YouTube and, just bickering back and forth and stuff, go do something. Go run for office. Go do something. Just go do something that's going to affect positive change. Go help someone. Go out, do something, commit to it. Like I said, we're committed to helping 200 families. Whatever way we have to do it, help 200 families. But start with one. We started with one. We didn't start with 200 families. So, it's not. This isn't supposed to be a lecture by any means. This is something where I'm passionate about it because I used to be in that place, and I'm glad the camera hasn't fallen yet, which is amazing. But it's something that I'm very passionate about because I see where it got me. And I see so many people doing that same thing and not doing anything about it, and that's what pains me, because we're Americans. I mean, we do something about things. We go take action. Don't be someone who just sits there and talks about it all the time. And one of the things that, and this is why I changed. This is one of the reasons I changed a number of years ago. I can't even remember when it was, 5 or 6 years ago. Someone looked at me one day and was just like, dude, why don't you go do something about it? Like, if you're this passionate about it, why don't you go do something about it? And that really struck a chord with me. And I kind of just stepped back and I was like, wow, I'm just talking. I'm just basically on a YouTube chat, in essence, going back and forth. And that's it. So that really was one of the things, along with Robert Kiyosaki, a lot of people, the guys we talk about in here, there were a couple of things in my life that really changed the course of my life. And it really made me think, wow, I need to do something. I need to make a change and actually, not be a spectator and not just, be the one complaining on the sideline. So, again, like I said, I didn't get into much. I was saying, hey, go check this out. This is the stuff that, if people know these things, if you know this, you can't be fooled. You can't have, George W. Bush's administration. You can't have Barack Obama. You can't have them, taking things out of the unemployment rate and taking factors out of it, and then them saying, oh, hey, unemployment rate is great. It's amazing right now. It's dropping. Well, if you knew this, and if people knew this, you could just turn around and easily say, well, that's not true, because when you base it against gold and silver, or when you base the Dow against, these things, it's going the opposite direction. Spoiler alert. So that's where you have to, you have to dig to the next level. Like we were saying before, the media is going to tell you what you want to hear. They're not going to tell you what you need to hear. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. They look at the ratings every single day, right? They're in the business to make money. They're not in the business to, and they also want to keep people from, going crazy. Obviously, they don't want to. Well, that's a whole other story. But they generally don't want people rioting in the streets, right? So they're going to keep things from you in order to just keep things going along. So, we've talked about it before. The dollar, it's a confidence game. The dollar is all confidence. If tomorrow every person in the country, if tomorrow if 5% or 10% of the country said, we don't like the dollar anymore, it's worthless. Well, guess what? Dollar would be gone. So it's confidence. And if the media actually told you what was going on, the media told you these things, I guarantee you half the country would wake up tomorrow and say, the dollar's worthless, and it would be gone. And then that'd be the end of the dollar. So the Dow, this is the big thing. It's counterintuitive, right? We're at 20,000. What does that mean? It doesn't matter. Donald Trump's not going to do anything about it, up or down, sideways, whatever. Barack Obama, it doesn't matter. The central banks, like we talked about in the Insiders video, and again, I'll link to the Insiders videos, and we go deep into this stuff. The central banks control everything. The central bankers are the ones printing the money. They're the ones controlling everything, and the policy, and the Fed policy. We hear about it all the time. The interest rate going up and down. They control all of this. They control what's going on. Because we're at 20,000 because the Fed has been printing money. They've been quantitative easing. We're at QE 4, I think right now. Yeah, 4. They've been printing money. It's just astronomical amounts of money. That's why we're at 20,000. It's a leviathan. It's too big to stop. So the market's going to do what it does regardless. And it's not because of, the president and administration can affect things. They can change things a bit here and there, and they can have some fluctuations. And the markets will panic or jump or do this or that. We've seen that just over the last couple of months. But in general, the market's going to do what it's going to do. The market's underwritten by global banks. So I'll link to the insiders videos and stuff like that. If you guys get anything out of these videos, please share them. I know there's a lot of people that have been talking to me about these videos, and I really appreciate when you guys tag people and like it and share it and watch them. I really appreciate them a lot. We're going to start doing probably some giveaways and stuff like that for a lot of you that are loyal viewers and stuff like that. We're going to start doing some giveaways and some different contests and whatnot. But I really appreciate if you could do that for us. That'd be amazing. And because as you can tell, it takes a lot of work and a lot of stuff. I mean, just like last night, I'm watching Historian last night. It's a lot of time and energy. So really appreciate you doing that for us a lot. Again, I'm Brandon Gentile, CEO and founder of the Legacy Group real estate team here at Berkshire Hathaway, based in Oakland County. We appreciate you guys a ton, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Don't just talk about things. Go do something. Go act on it. Be good. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.